So this is a part 2 of my video, which I filmed last night. Why am I so insecure? This is why am I retarded? I love myself. I have to express myself the way I would express myself, not the way that I'm supposed to. And I want to explain a little bit more about this because it's considered like cancel worthy for me to say the word retarded. But what I'm trying to get across when I say these things, because I find it funny how, like, I have a very specific reason behind why I do everything I do and why I say things the way I do and everything. And, like, you gotta, like, pay attention to pick up on it. But the reason why I don't use more politically correct language or when I speak about things the way I speak about them, because look here, so we have this thing where people are feeling really validated to get certain diagnoses, like, oh, I'm autistic, that's why I've always been different. Phew. Now I know, like, it's not something wrong with me, or it's just something I can't help. It's just something I was born with. I get so infuriated at these concepts because it's like literally everybody is different. Like, what is wrong with y'all? Everybody's different. Everybody's neurodivergent. Everyone's mind works different. The only reason why we have these binaries is because of, like, the ways that people's minds have been conditioned to go through a factory job, like a life at working as a factory worker, or like some other type of, like, very, like, rigid life where their life is, like, stolen from them so they can do labor for other people. So that's what's considered neurotypical. And it's just such a fucked up position we're in as humanity that, like, humans can't help but continue to recreate these things because it's been human survival for so long. So people feel like if they are dismantling these things or they're not in them, then they're not going to survive. So what do you think happens when there's a child? Okay, so in my family, there's people who actually are, like, cognitively impaired to the point where they need other people to take care of them. They can't live on, whatever, that's what people say, they can't live on their own. But see, that's what people said about me. I just find it to be, like, I just find it to be very, like, telling of society and where society is at. Like, why is a person who's cognitively impaired not safe in society? Because people will try to hurt them. They'll see that they're not all there, and if they have anything, they'll take it from them. If they can get over on them in any kind of way, they will. So it's not even that this person can't function on their own. Like, some people need people to feed them and take care of them and things like that. But some people don't need that. They just need protection from somebody, like, violating them. And what happens is that people learn early on, like, what warning signs to look out for, that, like, somebody's going to violate them. So then you grow up and you get to be a certain age where you thought it was all good. Like, you were just protecting yourself and moving how you needed to move. And now all of a sudden you just can't even handle life anymore. You're so, like, traumatized from all those experiences. And this really makes a difference whether you have a good family structure or not. And, like, a lot of the, like, coursework and support that I've offered has been specifically for people that don't have good family structure. And the reason why I offer that is because I honestly, I hate to say that I don't have a good family structure. Like, my family has been extremely weakened, and they've been weakened through, like, definitely demonic attacks. And this isn't something I can even really talk about with anybody in my family because part of these attacks is, like, just the depth of the emotional connection is not there. Because even, like, growing up as a child, like, when, you know, that's when you're you would think that like you could be all warm and fuzzy with your emotions and your parent would be like, oh, I love you. I mean, it was very hard for like those three words, like some people, it's very hard for them to say them, and then some people overuse them and abuse them in a narcissistic, codependent way. And I strongly feel that if I had more family structure and support, that I wouldn't have gotten into some of the relationships that I got into or some of the situations I got into. I feel like I would have been more empowered and more supported to like not cling to situations that didn't work for me, because like I would know that, okay, I can actually have better than this. But I didn't know that, because like even within my family, it's like it would not have ever been beneficial for me to be classified as learning disabled or as cognitively impaired. And what I see with a lot of people who urge this diagnosis or who want this diagnosis, because it is socially beneficial for them, because they can point to it and be like, oh, it's not my fault, da 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 da, it's because of the autism or the bipolar or whatever it is. And like I've received a lot of diagnoses, so like it's not special to me. Like they give these things out like willy-nilly. They give them to anybody, you guys. It's not special. So it's a function of Stockholm syndrome, when you feel like, oh my god, I'm validated because I got this diagnosis. Like, no, you're like, I mean, I'm not here to tell anybody else what to feel or how they feel, but the thing is that I hate to see it, because you can validate yourself without needing their diagnosis, because what their diagnosis leads to is like increased surveillance and like militarization, medicalization, and I don't vibe with that. And I think it's a something to look out for. Cause like in my family, that's what I was saying in my video yesterday about how I always knew that I was different, but I never knew that it was looked at as like she's different. Like it was sort of looked at as a bad thing. And now I understand that that's why I did get a lot more support for like my artistic endeavors and writing and creative things than I feel like a lot of people got from their families. And I think that's why, because it was like, oh, she's doing something good. Even though she's like not all, like we don't know if she like, we don't know what's up with her. But like there was illness in my family. Like people suffer from different illnesses, and cognitive and mental and emotional illnesses are not separate from physical illnesses and spiritual illnesses. And the reason why these become illnesses is because there's gifts there that are being suppressed. And why are they being suppressed? That's out of survival. Like a person who's, some people might be like, oh, she's retarded, but really she's gifted. But this world doesn't make a space for her to express that. And these are ancestral gifts that we have that we're not allowed to practice or able to practice. So then that insecurity comes from the fear of like it's not okay being you. And these insecurities are from so many places, like from the family being like, oh my god, she's different, she's not going to be able to get a husband, or somebody's going to try to hurt her, or she's going to be, something bad is going to happen to her because she's different. And they don't know that it's colonialism. Like they don't know that it's capitalism. They just know like they're like, they kind of want their bloodline to succeed. They want who they're associated with to be like in a good position and not looked at as weird. That's why, like, we kind of are so heavily influenced by the people around us, that we can't help but, like, create ourselves in the image that they want us to be, because their influence, their pull is that strong. So I think it's really important to look at these things. You know, I just had a little bit more to say about it. And like, I'm getting into the sensitive era for myself where, like, I actually can look at these things. Like, why am I so insecure? Because I have the space and the support to be able to, like, go deeper into things that are going to benefit me. And this is what I've been doing with my coaching, for other people. And it was always hard for me to accept this type of support for myself. Like, that's why I became a healer and a teacher and a guide and a coach before I even had like an adequate support in these areas for myself. So, you know, it's like all you can do, you can look back and reflect, but you can't look back and change it. But you can clear that energy from all of time and space that is, like, vibrating at that frequency. And I feel like the best way to heal from these issues is to claim your power and to go into that. And this is the process that I help guide people through. And it's just gotten so real that I see that, okay, now I see how this can be my, like, franchise business, like, thing, where this is an initiation that other people, I've given this initiation to almost 100 people at this point, and it's an initiation process that they can take other people through also. And it's highly beneficial, and it's highly beneficial for starseeds and people who are insecure, people who have always been different, people who are highly gifted but out of touch with their gifts, people who are autistic, people who are cognitively impaired, chronic ill, disabled, mental impairments, emotional issues, anything imbalanced, any illness. This is for you to heal yourself. Your illness is because you're a healer. It's your initiation portal into becoming a healer, into taking complete ownership over your life. That's how I can get up here and say, like, I don't have to hide my insecurities anymore. I can, like, flaunt them. I can literally flaunt in front of people's faces, like, why I'm so insecure. And it just makes them love me even more. And I want this level of self-honoring and self-acceptance for everybody. I don't play about mine. You know, we are humans. We are made up of many different threads of lineages, and our DNA is carrying the encoding of many experiences, some of which are OD terrible: slavery, murder, rape. And our own families became our worst ops. Sad but true. And now we have the opportunity to reclaim everything that we've ever lost. And we don't have to do anything. We don't have to fight. Like, the fight has already happened. Now we're in the aftermath. We're in the rebuilding. And that's all we have to do. And it's the rebuilding of self. Rebuilding back the ego. Once you had the ego death, now you rebuild back the ego. And you give yourself what you need. Because a lot of times, for people that are cognitively impaired or whatever, is like there's an issue there of, like, executive functioning and doing the simple things you need to do for yourself, like feeding yourself and bathing yourself. This is why you do inner child healing. This is what inner child healing is for. Is to make sure that that stuff happens. Like, the things that a parent would do for a child, you do for yourself. It's worth it. I'm telling you guys. So I really want to hear your feedback. I want to do more videos like this where I'm just being real with you. This is what I like to do. Like, I'm not really I'm here to open up a lot of space for you to know what you already know, and for you to, like, understand yourself on a deeper level, not for me to, like, tell you what to think. But yeah, I'm gonna tell you what the fuck I think and what I think you should think. Because everybody has an opinion. I don't care if you agree with me. You don't have to. You don't have to, like, you don't have to get me. But what's important is that I get me and I make the space for me to be me. So it eliminates a lot of drama and issues and anger and bad feelings for my life when I just like take the space for myself. My emotions are so huge, like no one's ever been able to handle them, but the important thing is that I have the space to do what I need to do to handle them and to like honor them. And that means being true to me, being true to what I need, and not being afraid to say that based on somebody else's reaction. I feel a part 3 coming, but I'm gonna get off here for now. So make sure you comment. I still got my makeup on from last night. I want to hear what y'all think. Thanks for tuning in. Say mashallah.